Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the Barroom Boys. I'm Mondo here with Beav and Hodska. And on today's episode, we have a lot to talk about. First, we got to send our condolences out to Mike Leach. It is very upsetting to hear the news that came out this morning of him passing away at 61. We will get into that. We'll also talk about how Ari Gold, aka Jeremy Piven, came to my office today. I got to talk with him. Really cool guy. We got Weapon of the Week, NFL recap. We're talking Big Dog Media playoffs. We got MLB Free Agency, World Cup, and then we have a draft of the best TV show characters of all time, with the little caveat being we're not adding cartoon characters because that's going to be a different draft. So that's all we have on this action-packed episode. We'll leave some of the other bullshit like, trivia, maybe an interview, the Madden draft. We'll do that for the next episode this week. But for now, boys, how are we doing?
Doing great. It's a great week here in Gainesville, Florida. Moving out at the end of the week, so it's also my last week in Gainesville, Florida. But yeah, I'm just kind of enjoying the most of it.
Attaboy.
The grad.
Yes, sir. Now he gets big time.
Welcome to real life.
Yeah, almost there.
I'm not too shabby myself. Kind of bored, just waiting for the holidays. That's about it. Nothing else new.
Yeah, honestly, I'm kind of in that same boat. Just, scratching each day off the calendar as we go. That's about it.
Yeah.
Maybe we can fuck around, do a little 12 days of Christmas episodes. Just kidding. We don't have the time for that.
We don't have the time.
Well,
if you guys blow this shit up, though, and make it our full-time job, then guess what? Then we will.
I mean, we'd have to start today. It's the 13th.
What about a 24-hour podcast where we're just shooting the shit for a full day?
I'm down. We can do it this weekend if we want.
It's a long-ass day.
That'll probably take a week and a half to upload to YouTube.
Yeah. 24 hours.
Definitely would.
Be funny if it was like one person, if there's one person out there that just watched the entire thing.
No, we have fans out there that probably just watch every episode back to back to back. They're probably 30 hours in right now.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
Somewhere out there.
All right. Well, let's get into the story of the day. Really sad. Out of Mississippi State. Mike Leach passed away at the age of 61 due to heart disease, complication, if you will. Just extremely sad news. He was one of the greatest, characters of college football, an incredible coach. His coaching tree is absolutely legendary. Like, this man embodied what it meant to be college football, just the grit, the toughness. You can't really say anything bad about him. The dude literally just embodied what it meant to be like a football guy. And it was heartbreaking seeing it this morning come across the TV. I just sat there shocked. I'm sure you guys were kind of the same, but
yeah, no, it's tough news to wake up to. Obviously Mike Leach has been a part of our college football fandom for our whole lives, pretty much. Invented the air raid offense and has seen a lot of success in college football, coached in, SEC, Big Ten, Pac-12. And just like going on Twitter today and, the past, day or so when he's been in the hospital, just seeing all the stories that, just random people have with him, hearing all these great stories, it just really puts it into perspective how great of a guy this man was on and off the field.
Yeah.
So he'll be missed for sure. I'm putting money on Mississippi State in the bowl game for sure.
Oh yeah, you got to.
And I wonder how that guy that was the recruit that entered the player that went to the transfer portal and kind of had some bad words for Mike Leach. I wonder how he's feeling today.
Yeah, the one that was like, yeah, Coach Leach doesn't think I'm like, or thinks I'm soft.
Yeah.
Yeah, that kid's got to feel terrible. But yeah, obviously it sucks waking up and seeing someone who personally got me into college football and watching him coach and just his enthusiasm, energy, passion, and drive towards the game of football and specifically college football, and how he changed the way and paved the way for so many other coaches in this current coaching era. It's gonna suck not seeing him out there on Saturdays. He's a great personality as well as a coach. He's more of a people's coach than I think just literally one team, because he inspired a lot of other people as well,
Yeah.
especially us being Florida fans. I mean, coaching Mississippi State, although we're supposed to hate him, you got to respect the hell out of Mike Leach and what he's done for that program and what he's done for college football. So it's a tough way to go out. Obviously, something that you hate to see, but rest in peace.
Yeah, I mean, I first I guess learned about Mike Leach when he was in Washington State with Gardner Minshew, and they had that great year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those were exciting times. And then, I mean, his last win was against Ole Miss in the Egg Bowl. So
Gotta love it.
go out swinging.
Yep.
Damn right. Yeah, just a tough story for everyone to wake up to. Seeing it trend on Twitter all day. Like you guys said, all the stories that came up, everything like that. It was just, rivalries or not, it really puts into perspective like how big of a family college football fans really are.
Yeah.
Like you saw it with the former Michigan player who passed away, all the Ohio State people that, talk stories about it, reached out. Like college football, it's incredible to see, when it really matters, it is more than a game and it means a lot to everybody.
Yeah. You're almost rather rooting for, like, in these case scenarios, like, you're not necessarily rooting for people to pass away. You put the rivalries aside. Like, yeah, like there was at points like sometimes where I was rooting for Mike Leach to get fired as a typical drunk Florida fan on game days when they're playing Mississippi State. But at the same time, like, you never want to see someone go out on like this. So it's just tough.
Yeah, never.
Prayers to Mike Leach and his family and all of his friends in Mississippi State.
Yeah.
Legends love. Yeah.
Tough shoes to fill for sure.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what they're gonna do with that. That's wild.
Yeah, it's wild that they still have to play a game in 2 weeks.
Oh yeah. Yeah, so that's obviously the biggest story of the day. If you follow football and any capacity, even just sports in any capacity, like this one really just rocked the world. But we'll move on to something, a little bit more fun. So aside from that today, I got the opportunity to meet, as we're talking about TV show characters and just, characters in general, I got to meet the one and only Jeremy Piven, aka Mr. Ari Gold today. Dude is absolutely hilarious. He's such a cool guy, really down to earth. This is the picture we snagged. We're now repped by Ari Gold, Barroom Boys to the moon. You heard it here. This dude's he's so cool. He was so down to take pics with everyone. He hopped on the radio for a little bit. It was an unreal opportunity to meet someone, that I put as like maybe my favorite character of all time. Like he made me want to be an agent for like 10 years. Straight up. Like his role as Ari Gold was just different. It was so fun. But yeah, got a really cool pick. It was a great time today.
What was the occasion? Why was he swinging by the office?
Well, he's down in West Palm. He's been here a couple times, hopped on the radio a couple times, but he's really been promoting his stand-up tour, his improv tour. So he's down here for that for the next couple days. So he stopped by, said hi, talked sports. It was just so cool.
That's hype.
He's looking a little old.
I mean, when the show came out, it ended in 2011.
Yeah.
So it's not really recent. And, I would say the past 3 years have really aged society a lot. So it's just
he was also in a stressful marriage on the show. His wife was always giving him
Well, he was talking about that today. He's like, yeah, it was sometimes tough to play Ari Gold because, you're basically having a mental breakdown 12 hours a day recording on set. And then you have to get back into real life. So like going on an exercise type thing, like your body thinks you've been having a breakdown all day. So like it's just physically and mentally exhausting. So he was talking about that on the radio. He was talking a lot about UFC. It was just really cool to see him come in, meet everyone. But
yeah, that's hype.
yeah. So with that, we will move into weapons of the week. And
right.
I don't know which one of you two would like to start it off this week.
You
And if
started
you have
last time.
pictures, feel free to screen share.
Steve, you can start it off. I started off last time.
All right. I'll start it off. So my weapon of the week is going to be Sam Bankman-Fried from FTX. He got arrested today or yesterday. He got arrested and he's indicted and he's going to be extradited to the U.S. So he'll probably be in prison before we know it. Yeah, he fucked over like hundreds of thousands of people out of millions and billions of dollars. So he's a pretty big weapon, and therefore he's the weapon of the week. Also, you could say me because I'm graduating college. I'm an academic weapon.
Attaboy.
Academic weapon. I love it.
Yeah. All right, mine is a little different to that. Mine is someone in sports. With the World Cup being so prevalent right now, I'd figure I'd pick a soccer player as my weapon of the week. So we're gonna take it all the way to Portugal, and Goncalo Ramos being my weapon of the week. So Goncalo Ramos, most notably known in the past couple weeks for starting over Cristiano Ronaldo, arguably one of the greatest soccer players of all time. He was starting in the Portugal lineup. He scored a hat trick in his first game that he started and didn't really do anything when they lost to Morocco last week. But some news came out recently that he was being a little dirty behind the scenes, some could say. So I first found out about this news on like Twitter, and I was just like scrolling. I'm like, what is this? And I saw it on TikTok. I'm like, this is serious. So apparently, there's a video of him clucking the chicken, we'll say. And his face is clearly in it. And it's not a good look to someone that probably was going to make a bag after his World Cup, considering he was playing pretty well. So yeah, not the best look for Goncalo Ramos, which is my
Tough
weapon.
look. Not the
I love
best
how you
weapon.
said, I love how you said you saw it on Twitter, didn't know much about it, and then you went on TikTok, and that's when you knew it was real.
Yeah.
I mean, that's two great weapons of the week. Now, for mine, let's give a little preface here. On this show, we like to highlight up and coming talent, especially up and coming athletes. A lot of these players, they don't get the spotlight they deserve. That gets overshadowed by maybe some of the bigger names. But I want to highlight a 12-year-old football player by the name of Jeremiah Johnson, an absolutely incredible talent. I believe he was born on a leap year because look at this guy. This man is 12 years old with a mustache and a half sleeve. 12 years old, by the way, in case you did not hear me.
12
This
years old.
apparently runs over everybody. He's just different.
I would expect him to. That is this definition of like pass it to the Italians. It's just like give him the ball and go. Like there's no set play.
I am 12 from bench warmers. Screams it.
Is that what Derrick Henry looked like when he was in high school?
Yeah.
Dude, who was the
not
one?
Even in high school. This kid's in like 7th grade.
It reminds me of the OG Bo Scarborough pick from high school.
Yeah.
Where he was like 15 at the time and was just yoked. But yeah, Jeremiah Johnson, up and coming superstar. He may be in the retirement home by the time he's 20, so I wouldn't be too ready to see him on a college football field. He may throw his back out.
He might have gray hairs by then.
Keep an eye out because once his birth certificate gets leaked, he could be declaring for the draft within the next 2 years.
Yeah, he's a major talent for several different levels of football.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's my weapon of the week. That's you guys' weapons of the week. That was weapons of the week. So I guess let's just get into NFL recap. I mean, we had what I would say is a pretty crazy week of football in my eyes.
Yeah.
I guess we'll start Thursday. We'll go kind of quick through it if we can. Raiders at Rams. Rams won 17-16. The hype about that game was Baker Mayfield coming back doing a 98-yard drive for the final drive of the game, winning it. Absolutely insane. I love that for Baker. I'm not a Baker hater like a lot of people are. I'm a big fan of his. So to see him do that was pretty huge for me.
Yeah. It's good seeing him back on the football field, dotting up people. Like, he had some great throws on that drive. It's not like he looked rusty either. Like, he was actually making really good throws. That throw to Van Jefferson for the game-winning touchdown, that was a dime and a half. So good for him. Hopefully he'll be able to keep showing out like that for the rest of the season and maybe secure himself a starting job next year somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that Sean McVay practically Amazon Prime the quarterback and had him in 48 hours winning a football game.
Yeah, that's nuts.
Impressive.
Gotta love it.
I'm sure he was pissed trying to run an offense with John Wolford as his quarterback the last few weeks. So
yeah,
Baker should suit him well.
Not a good look for the Raiders.
No,
say that.
Not at all.
Not a good look for the Raiders defense.
Well, from Baker's current team to his most recent former team, Panthers take down the Seahawks 30-24. I didn't really watch too much of this game, so I'm just going to throw it to you guys. I just didn't.
This was a game where I was like, okay, this is weird because the Panthers got up 17-0. They were up 17-0 in this game. And I was like, what is going on? I thought Seattle was supposed to be good. Like, people were talking about them like they're in a wild card spot right now, maybe even competing for the division now that San Fran has Brock Purdy before this week. And who knows what would have happened. And obviously now we know Brock Purdy and the 49ers are legit.
Yeah.
But yeah, Seattle, they just got off to a slow start. Having no Kenneth Walker, I think really hurt their backfield. Geno just wasn't looking that good like how he's been in the previous weeks. But turned it around in the second half, started making plays, specifically Tyler Lockett. He had a great second half. Panthers just found a way in the end to win it. So,
yeah, I mean, the Panthers like have a real shot at winning the NFC South, which is just wild to say. Just shows how bad that division is. But I mean, the Seahawks are a quality team. For the Panthers to beat them is a quality win. I think it was on the road too in Seattle.
It was in Seattle, yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, if the Panthers can somehow keep it up, they have a good running game. Darnold seems to be stepping up to the occasion, so we'll see. But, man, if the Panthers win that division, that would be something.
Yeah. DJ Moore getting injured towards the end of the game, not a good look for them. But hopefully I saw that he's day-to-day, so he'll probably be back for the next game. But keep an eye on that as well.
Yeah. So we'll just keep going down the list here. Dolphins at Chargers, Sunday Night Football. As simply as I can put it, I'm a member of Tuanon. It was not the best game for him to not, show up, play well. It was just tough to watch. That's all I really got. Like, it just wasn't. It wasn't the Dolphins that we've been watching all season. That's for the past two games. So,
yeah, I mean, the most electric play of that game, regardless of on either team, was the Tyreek Hill fumble touchdown. Where
that was pretty nuts.
That was basically the highlight on offense for them. I guess the other highlight was Tyreek's 60-yard catch, but I mean, the guy fell down. He was wide. Like, he could have walked the last 30 yards in the end zone. But yeah, it was the return of Keenan Allen, typical Keenan Allen stat line of 12 catches for 90 yards. He's back. It's a 7-yard catch. So that was nice to see. But yeah, otherwise good win for the Chargers. They need it considering they're in a wild card spot right now.
Yeah, people are going to talk about the Tua Herbert debate for, as long as they're playing in the NFL. And Sunday night was a reminder that Tua had some inaccuracies, but overall the Dolphins were the better team. The Chargers got off to a rough start this season, but they're clawing their way back. They're probably going to make the playoffs.
Yeah, Beeve, your boy went off too. Mike Will, he had a day.
That's your boy, Beef. That's your dog.
Yeah,
He had
shout
a
Here's
out
with the
Mike Will.
Z.
he had a nasty first quarter
Ball
catch.
Mike Will.
We do love some Mike Will here on this podcast. All right. Jets at Bills. Bills take them down at pretty easy fashion, I'd say. 20-12. Not really too much excitement wise, I guess, coming from this game.
It's an awful game.
It wasn't what
Really
I
did
thought
any.
it would be.
I thought it was going to be like close, like kind of how the game was,
A
but
higher
like
scoring.
34-31.
Yeah.
Like I thought it was going to be like either a shootout or the Bills were just going to wipe the floor with them. Kind of wasn't either. It was an awful game. I think the Jets are kind of on the decline now, and the Mike White hype is kind of done with, and I think their season is kind of wrapped up. Got some tough
Yeah,
games.
I mean Sauce Gardner was locking up Diggs though.
He
When
was.
he
I
was
mean, he's
covering him.
him. He's him.
He is him. Another guy who is him is Jamar Chase. Chase and the Bengals win 23-10 over Deshaun Watson's bitch ass. Easy dub. Fuck the Browns. Fuck Deshaun Watson. Let's go Bengals.
Yeah, I mean the Bengals were winning. They beat the Chiefs last week, and you know they're shaping into
scary.
playoff form.
They're scary.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think the Patriots play them in like 2 weeks.
I
Or
think
3 weeks.
Joe Burrow's definitely worked his way into MVP discussion.
I
For
think he's
sure.
third behind. He's
Behind
third
Jalen
behind
and
Mahomes.
Mahomes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Texans at Cowboys, a shockingly good game. I was really hoping the Texans were going to pull this one out, but they gave up 10 in the fourth, ultimately losing 27-23. Our boy Damian Pierce scored a touchdown, though, so we got to love that. But
He was running people over, too. He had some good highlights.
yeah, not a great game out of the Cowboys, especially in the first half. I feel like fundamentally, like they were a little bit flawed, just a couple dumb mistakes here and there, and it almost cost them. So,
I mean, the game was basically the entire time played on the ground. There was no good passing display on action in that game whatsoever.
yeah.
Basically the Damian Pierce and Tony Pollard show with a little bit of Ezekiel Elliott. That was the best way to describe it.
I mean Damian Pierce has got to win Rookie of the Year, right?
Offensive, I don't know. I think you got to give it to someone that's been a little bit more
I mean, Jameer Wilson's had a nice year.
Chris Olave's had a good year.
Olave, yeah, but I mean,
It's
looking
tough.
at run.
It's tough to give him Rookie of the Year when they're
Because he's on a
1-11-1.
Yeah.
Like that's kind of where I am. Granted, it's a team sport. Wins and losses shouldn't always decide awards, but like that is a massive outlier compared to everyone else in this.
He's
But he's
definitely up
definitely
there
doing
in the
smart.
voting, but I don't think he'll win solely on the record. And like, you never know. Like, imagine if he wasn't on the Texans and like, because after the end of the day, he was drafted in the 4th round. Any one of these teams could have got him in 3rd, 2nd, 4th round, if matter of that fact. So like, if he was on a team with like a better offensive line and like an actual decent offense, he would be up there for sure if he's putting up the numbers.
Yeah, well, imagine next year when he gets Bryce Young as his quarterback.
Yeah, or Stroud.
It'd be a little better.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Now on to an NFC North matchup. This was a hell of a game to watch. I really enjoyed this one. Vikings at Lions. Lions take them down. They are proving they are a legitimate force. And it's a team to definitely not fuck with down the stretch. That's for sure. And the Vikings on the other side are showing maybe they're not as good as their record shows. Maybe they're a fraud, Well, and I think so because their point differential's in the shitter for being 10-3.
Yeah, I think the Vikings realistically would be. I'm gonna go a modest 6-7 if they did not have 2 players on their team. If they did not have Justin Jefferson and Zadarius Smith, they would be 6-7. Because
Yeah,
those two guys
Justin
are
Jefferson
monsters.
did ball out, 11 for
I think he had what, like
223.
200, yeah, 223, no
Yeah.
touchdowns, but
Yeah.
Yeah,
But I mean, you can't
he
stop
balled.
that man, and like you plan your offense to try to stop him. You can't stop him. There's no point. But I mean, no one else was really doing anything. Kirk Cousins didn't look that good. Meanwhile, on the other hand, Jared Goff was lighting it up. You got Jamison Williams, his first touchdown. He's back. I mean,
Mhm.
Amon-Ra didn't even have that good of a game, but he was finding other people. DJ Chark, I think, had a touchdown. I think even Josh Reynolds had a touchdown.
Yeah,
So
everything for them starting to click at the right time, and
even
you
getting
just
Penix
gotta
Sewell
love it.
involved,
You really do.
yeah.
yeah. I mean, the Lions offense has been scoring all season. Even when they've been losing games, they've been still putting up points. Now they've won like 5 out of their last 6, and they're serious playoff contenders. And
Mhm.
that's a hard team to stop right now. They got the offense, and they
Oh
got the
yeah,
motivation. They got the locker room.
Yeah.
yeah. No, they've looked fucking incredible. That like these past couple games. Now let's take it to a different matchup. Jaguars at Titans. Jags win 36-22 on the back of Trevor Lawrence's 368, 3 tutties. The Jags look good. Titans didn't look great. It was really the Derrick Henry show out of the Titans. I don't really think there's much else to comment for them.
Yeah, in my
But
opinion, probably the most shocking win of Sunday.
definitely. And a player I definitely want to highlight from this game, Mr. Evan Engram. 11
Mhm.
receptions, 162 yards, 2 touchdowns. Beef, how are we feeling about the former Giant?
I could care less about Evan Ingram. He was a fake Pro Bowler on the Giants. Now he wants to ball out with Trevor Lawrence. He has one good game. It's all right.
Yeah, it's the 1 week wonder show. I feel like you always get that with an Evan Ingram though. There's like always a week in the regular season where he'll just get like 8 catches and 2 touchdowns, and that was this week. I mean, they
Yeah,
played
but I
well.
mean,
T-Law had
Trevor
4 total
Lawrence,
touchdowns against Derrick Henry. When you have 4
Trevor
total
Lawrence has
touchdowns
been putting up
against, I
some
think
good
Henry had
numbers.
2. Math wins.
Yep. Well, Beef, I guess we'll just get your misery out of the way. Just go ahead.
Yeah, I knew the Giants didn't have much of a chance going into their game against the Eagles. Saquon was pretty much on a snap count, and the defense just crumbled. The
I
Eagles
mean,
have a great offense, give them credit,
yeah.
um, but I didn't expect it to get out of hand the way it did.
Yeah.
It's tough. But now we play Washington on Sunday night this week.
Big game.
Prime time, huge game for both teams. So I'll be tuned into that, probably
Mm.
stressing out, but we'll see.
Nice.
Yeah, as it stands now, I feel like the Eagles are in their own tier compared to everyone else. I really do. They've just they're just built differently this year. Everything works correctly for them. It's
There's not a single weak point on their team. And
no,
the weak
they
point
look
on the team,
incredible.
beside maybe you can call tight end a weak point, but that's just because their starting tight end is hurt.
And he's back next week. It's
Exactly.
fucking insane. They have everyone. It is
Yeah,
crazy.
it's not often when you see an NFL team that blows teams out every week. You know, normally there's
Yeah.
parity in the NFL, like the any given Sunday. But and the Eagles just look so nice. I
Mhm.
don't know if they can sustain it. The big thing is winning in the playoffs. That's all that really matters. At this point, they're already in.
Yeah.
Now they just want to stay healthy. I did not expect Jalen Hurts to be the MVP frontrunner this year either.
No, me either. I don't
Nobody
think
did.
anyone's really dead. Maybe the
Everyone
Eagles,
had
delusional
Allen.
Eagles fans.
Yeah, everyone had Allen and Mahomes since the year started.
Like
Hurts
Allen
literally
Mahomes,
popped up out of
Justin
nowhere.
Herbert was up there.
Mhm.
Yeah, I give them credit too. They've been drafting well too. Well,
Oh
past few
yeah.
Yeah.
years. AJ
And
Brown,
they've
great
been
addition.
making some great trades as well.
Yeah, they
Mhm.
loaded up on defense, and they're a contender, no
Yeah.
doubt.
Well, I guess we'll hop into the AFC North matchup this week. Ravens at Steelers. A pretty boring game, I'd say. The only highlight was just watching J.K. Dobbins back out there, like really putting up numbies. 120 for a touchdown. Although it wasn't, a crazy, crazy game. Like it was good to see that. It really was.
Yeah.
you
I
know?
guess also another note of this game is Kenny Pickett getting hurt, having the literally like
Yeah.
one of the exact hits that Tua took earlier this year when I guess Tua, before the Tua rule came into effect, when he was allowed back in and Pickett was not allowed back into the game in concussion protocol. So I guess that's something to make a note of. And then Trubisky throwing 3 picks, typical. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to hate on Kenny Pickett too much just because it's his first year, but I just don't think he's the answer. Yeah, I mean, he's got the qualities of Big Ben, but they need to look elsewhere for a
they need a
quarterback.
line. They need an offensive line. That's
That
what they,
too.
They need a lot more than just that. They need
yeah.
a lot more.
But yet they still ever so maybe just might sneak into the playoffs. Maybe.
Pittsburgh
You never
Maybe.
know.
at 5-8,
You
You
never
never
know.
know.
maybe they could win out.
All right. Let's go ahead and tackle this one real quick. Chiefs at Broncos. Chiefs win 34-28. Mahomes did his thing. I love watching Isaiah Pacheco. Wilson gets knocked the fuck out. I mean, there were just a bunch of different headlines from this game, but maybe they're better without Russell Wilson.
Thinking the same thing.
I don't know. I think if Russ didn't get hurt, they
Maybe.
would have had a real chance to win this game, beat the Chiefs, and that would have been
That is
something.
fair. That is fair.
I mean, 28 points, probably the most points they scored all season, right?
I
That
mean,
offense.
they were down 27-0
Yeah,
in this game. I mean,
Yeah.
Mahomes just keeps doing like crazy ass shit, like his touchdown throw to fucking McKinnon. Like, what? Huh?
Yeah, McKinnon had a hell of a day too. He really
Yeah.
did.
But I mean, the defense just looked terrible. The Chiefs in the second half, like they just couldn't stop anything. Like Jerry Judy,
Yeah.
2 touchdowns. Like he's back.
He
Get him on the
is
team.
back.
He's gonna be a free agent. Get him on a new roster.
Mhm.
for sure. Denver is going to implode at the end of the season, no doubt.
100%. All right. Now we have, I would say, this is definitely the biggest shocker to me of the weekend. The 49ers take down the Bucks 35-7. Tom Brady gets embarrassed by Brock Purdy in his first start. Yeah, it was just an unbelievable game. It really was.
I think this was the game that everyone was expecting the Bucks to be like, this is where their like turnaround of the season starts, and this is where they show that they're gonna be Super Bowl contenders again. And it was just the exact opposite. I don't think anyone saw this
Completely.
big of a blowout coming, especially with Brock Purdy. But he played pretty well. McCaffrey did his thing. I mean, he's top 2 running back in the league right now, maybe top 1. Debo getting hurt, that sucks.
Yeah,
Especially for the 49ers, because with every single person on their offense, it's just so electric. They have so many different points of attack where they can just hit defenses, and that limits one of them. But hopefully Ayuk and Kittle will be able to step up for him. Hopefully be back soon. So
definitely.
Yeah, I don't really know what to think of Tampa. They've had a few games this season where they've just thrown up
awful.
dust on
Looked
offense.
awful.
I mean, what they didn't get shut out by Carolina, but they put up like 3 points or something.
Yeah.
This is another example. I mean, yes, Tom Brady's old. They're still probably going to sneak into the playoffs and have home field advantage,
Yeah.
unfortunately. But
It's
the
the way it
Niners, I
is.
mean, you got to think like Brock Purdy, a kid that was drafted the last pick in the draft. I mean, it's like stuff of dreams. The fact that the top 2 quarterbacks went down, he gets in there. He's got McCaffrey, Kittle,
Yeah.
Debo.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's ridiculous. That offensive line, that defense.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But this is the thing with the Bucks, though, is that they still very well could win the division. I think they're still in first place in the division as
Yeah.
of right now. And the way it works, like they're going to be the 4 seed. Who's going to be the 5 seed? The Dallas Cowboys. So we're going to have Bucks versus Cowboys in Tampa Bay with the Cowboys, who are known to choke in the playoffs.
Stay tuned.
Yeah,
That
exactly.
would be something, man. I would be so happy if Dallas lost in the first round.
When have they not in the past 20 years?
That's facts. All right. Final matchup of the week, Monday Night Football. Patriots, Cardinals. I want to say a couple things, and then Hot, I'll send it right to you. First thing, Kyler Murray goes down, torn ACL. Hate to see it. He's got a lot of time to play Call of Duty now, but you really hate to see it for a guy who's, been trending upwards over the past couple years.
Yeah,
The
it's not
other,
the way I wanted to win either. Like, obviously, I
yeah,
want to
no,
beat him
definitely
full
not.
strength. That kind of sucks, but I mean, I'll take the win. But I'd rather beat him full strength and make it
Yeah.
seem like we're better than we are, rather than just beat Colt McCoy. So
Yeah. And then the other piece that I really wanted to talk about, especially given the team that I like, let's talk Devontae Parker. Let's talk the NFL. Let's talk concussions. The NFL needs to start taking this more seriously if they're going to be investigating teams like the Dolphins. They should be investigating every team's handling of every concussion, including the fact that the independent person that they hired completely overlooked Devontae Parker's clear head injury. You could be legally blind and see him stagger his way up off the ground.
yeah,
Like, he was clearly fucked up. He said on Twitter, "Thank God for Nelson Aguilar."
yep,
And he literally called out the NFL because the NFL is so biased with who they, come and attack. And granted, I know it's the, Patriots and they have a history
yeah,
of it too. But in recent memory, the Tua hit happens. He was cleared by an independent professional before that game. It's ultimately on the NFL at this point. They are not doing their job to protect these players, and it's going to lead to career-ending injuries, lawsuits, and a whole lot of legal trouble for them. They need to figure this out now, and they need to figure it out fucking fast because this is pathetic.
yeah. So a couple things I want to touch on. So when he was hit, obviously, like, it was basically helmet to helmet, which they didn't call. And I know the Patriots wanted to go quick, and that's why he was still on the field, because it was like the catch that maybe wasn't a catch but was a catch. Like, there was like basically going to be reviewed or challenged by the Cardinals anyway. So the Patriots tried to get a snap off so they wouldn't get it reviewed, even though it was like anyway ruled a catch. And even if you're an official and you're seeing Nelson Aguilar, who's screaming at the official on the sideline to look at Devontae Parker, while Devontae Parker is just not even himself. He's just walking around like I am 20 beers in after mid, just fucking like basically doing the Jalen Waddle and just waddling around. He has no idea where he is. Like, one, the refs have to spot that. Two, good on Nelson Aguilar for being a good, not even a good teammate, but just being a good person and helping him out.
Yeah.
But yeah, the NFL, like, that's where you have to train like all these officials and everything like that. Because yeah, it's gonna be like, oh yeah, like you could see it from the sideline. We all see it at the same time. We probably saw him like get up crazy at the same time as the person that the NFL hired to like sort of crack down on this shit, which
Yeah.
kind of makes me upset about that, just because one, it's Patriots, but two, it's just like, how do you expect these players to get back up and keep playing after this when they're doing nothing to protect the players? Like, I would be
Exactly.
absolutely furious if I was Devontae Parker, and he has every right to be.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, that's my piece on it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
couldn't agree more. Especially in this day and age when you have, HD slow motion and, all the instant replay, and you can clearly see after the play, exactly what unfolded. I mean,
Yeah,
you could literally see Kyler Murray's ACL tear apart in
Yeah.
slow motion. And so, everybody, refs, private doctors or whatever on the sideline and, in the press box watching in slow motion, just everybody's got to be more aware because,
and that's the thing now with injuries, because we see it basically every week. Like, as soon as Kyler went down, like, obviously I don't want to see it and I don't want to say it, but in the back of my head, I'm like, that's his ACL. He's done.
Mm-hmm.
Done for the year. His ACL's torn. Like,
Yeah.
obviously, like, I don't want to wish that on anyone and don't want to see it happen to anyone. At the end of the day, it's like, now that we've seen it happen so often for like throughout our lives watching sports like the NFL and college football, we're just used to seeing non-contact injuries and assuming it's ACL. You see someone get hit helmet to helmet and he's spazzing out a little bit on the ground. It's obviously going to be a concussion. So, like, why aren't the refs stopping the game for him and waiting for someone else to take the timeout?
Exactly.
Like, that is the definition of a injury timeout, which I get the Patriots wanting to go fast. He was on the other sideline, maybe didn't really see it happen or just wanted to get the playoff and then was going to take him out. But at the same time, it should be on the refs who are responsible for officiating this game to be like, hey, like, timeout, get him off the field. He needs to be seen.
Yeah. And, I get the NFL is trying, or at least they say they're trying.
Yeah.
But anyone with the pulse or even like half a brain cell knows that one person evaluating 22 people at one time, it's not enough, right?
No.
Like there's just no way they can catch it all. You need teams of people watching each game to make sure that they catch each of these head injuries as soon as possible.
You need a team on
Otherwise,
each
you're going to
sideline.
keep getting issues like this. It's fucking ridiculous.
You need
Like, not
each.
everyone's going to go fucking corpse mode like Tua did.
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand it.
And you're wondering, and the NFL wonders why players like Aaron Hernandez, like Junior Seau, who have passed
Yes.
already, and they're like, look at their brains and their autopsies, and they're like, oh my God, they have so much CTE. Why is their brain look like this instead of a perfect brain?
It's like, well, you don't do shit about
Protect
it.
your players.
That's why. Like, you don't help us.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I guess
It's just fucked up. It really
I guess
is.
just moving past that in terms of like the overall game. Patriots
Yeah.
looked like shit. Cardinals looked like shit. Our defense woke up. Patricia's a
The
piece of
best
shit.
of the big pile of poop that was Monday Night Football.
Yeah, somehow we're one game back to the Dolphins and right now the 7th seed in the playoffs.
I mean, the
Yep.
Pats defense, the Pats defense can win them games. Judon
Oh
is
yeah,
looking like a beast.
Patricia's play calling cannot win us games.
Exactly. I mean, we've been knowing that the Pats defense is legit. Like,
They're
it's been like
solid.
that for years.
I mean,
So
Uche, they had 7 sacks yesterday. Josh Uche had 4 sacks yesterday. Judon had a sack and a half. Like, our defense is playing really well. It's just our offense, just like the play calling is so bad. And we have the talent to do it. Like, Mac Jones isn't that bad of a quarterback. Ramondre Stevenson isn't that bad of a running back. Hunter Henry's not that bad of a tight end. Our wide
Yeah.
receivers, yeah, they kind of suck as a whole, but they can make plays when they need to.
Mhm.
But I mean, it's just not every single time. It's 3rd and 14, 3rd and 10, 3rd and 9. We don't need to run a screen to Ramondre
Yeah.
Stevenson every goddamn time.
100%. It's
I mean,
just
he's
tough to watch.
gonna be gone. Him and Judge are gonna be gone after this season.
Definitely. Yeah. Well, on to something that I know I've been asked about several times, and that is the update with Big Dog Media's football league. So I'll toss this up on the screen real quick. We'll go through it. Shouldn't take too much time. Here's where the standings sit right now. You can take a look at them. Here's, the full season stats. Hozka, you did come in last. You hate to see that. Very unfortunate.
Yeah, it sucks. I mean, my team overall, like you look at my team on paper and it's good. It's just like I lost this week, I think by 0.3 to someone this week. Yeah. Look I lost the Panty Raiders by 0.3 and I had T. Higgins who got 0 on my line. Like that's the definition of my season.
I mean, bruh, you deserve to lose.
He's on
You
my
don't
bench.
deserve to win.
On my
What
bench.
the fuck is this, Hanska?
He's on my bench.
I mean, your team isn't that bad. It's one of those fantasy things where you have a decent team and you just bad
I
luck.
put up more points than 4 other teams in the league.
Yeah, you just don't play good defense.
Put more points than me.
You want to talk defense? Let's talk the number 1 team in the league. Less than 1,500 points let up.
Hey, yeah, your boy beat Gary Gowdy this past week.
Atta boy. This is the team we're rocking with into the playoffs. Pretty solid squad, I'd say.
Yeah.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So now that we're around playoff time and most fantasy leagues, well, I mean every league by now. What do you think has been the biggest bust? I'm talking a player that was taken in the first 2 rounds.
Jonathan
Yeah.
Taylor.
You think
Well, I
Jonathan
mean,
Taylor over Najee Harris? I mean, obviously the
I
guys that
could
got
go down the list of busts this year, and I'm including injuries on busts. Jonathan Taylor, Najee Harris, Cooper Kupp's injured,
yeah,
Dalvin Cook's been trash. Like you could
well,
literally go down the whole first round and pick out at least 6 or 7 players who were just like not it.
yeah,
Straight
I mean,
up.
it also depends on when you drafted. Like some leagues I drafted in early August where Javonte Williams was second round pick. And now
Yeah.
you even forget he's on the Denver Broncos and was a second round. It was like gonna be a second round pick in fantasy this year.
yeah. Forgot about Javonte Williams. He tore his ACL like week 3.
Yep.
Of the preseason, yeah.
Yeah.
So my friend took him second round, and
There's
obviously
always one.
yeah,
There's always one.
Hey, how about Brees Hall? You remember him?
he was good
I
until he wasn't
do. A
necessarily a
distant
bust.
memory.
He had a great few weeks.
Yeah. So,
Yeah. So this is the playoff matchup for the league. Playoffs start this week, obviously. Otherwise, I wouldn't show this.
damn, am I playing Beav consolation?
No,
So
I'm playing the Panty Raiders.
yeah,
Uh,
Beeve, you play Panty Raiders. Smeej plays Elliott. Pod, you play Lip. And then in the playoffs, I'm taking on Matt, and Gary and Holmes are playing each other. So that's kind of the update for the league. Not really too much going on. It is what it is.
mhm.
I guess I was thinking, since we don't have a punishment, Pod, maybe you do your food challenge again. So for those who don't know or don't remember, Pod lost trivia, had to spin the wheel. He got the food challenge. Pod did the food challenge, forgot to record. He ate 12 donuts in an hour and 17 minutes, threw up all the donuts after. There's no recording. It is what it is. Sometimes
Yeah.
you forget.
It was one of those things where it was like I did it on Saturday when I was watching World Cup games
Mm,
at the 10 o'clock game, and I started the timer on my phone, and then I stopped it when I finished, and then I was like looking over, and I went to my camera roll to see the video, and there was no video, and then I like realized. But yeah, I
yeah.
mean, can I do it in favor of not a food challenge again because that made me feel like shit, and I'll do another wheel spin just for originality purposes because we've already done food challenges twice.
That's fine.
I'm fine with that.
The
All right.
wheel is just, so we will put it up to the wheel.
Wheel. The almighty wheel.
What the wheel
If it
says
lands on food
goes.
challenge, spin again, I think. Okay, well, I mean, I gotta get that.
Good luck, Hod.
You gotta find it or order it. I don't know.
Infamous one chip challenge.
That's good luck, man. That's gonna suck.
I'll
But
keep you
I guess
updated on the next episode on if I order it or I don't know how I'm gonna get it. So
yeah, you probably just have to order it.
yeah.
But since you brought it up, I guess we can hop into World Cup real quick, and then I'll talk about MLB Free Agency, aka the Yankees. Then we'll draft. So go ahead, Hod. Take it away.
Yeah. So World Cup, obviously an exciting time for the World Cup. Semifinals are happening today as you're watching this, and it happened yesterday. Um, Yesterday's game was Argentina versus who'd they play? Shit.
Croatia.
Croatia. Yeah, that's who they played. I already forgot because they wiped the floor with them. But yeah, Argentina won 3-0. Messi scored a penalty kick and also had an assist to Julian Alvarez, who scored twice, and one being an incredible solo effort. I mean, Argentina looks damn good.
Yeah.
They look scary. So they were going into the tournament, obviously one of the favorites, the second favorite behind Brazil. At the time, they were on a 34-game win streak, which is the second longest win streak ever for international play. And then they lost their first game, notably to Saudi Arabia, and everyone was like, "Oh, they're frauds. They're done. They may not even get out of the group now." And now they're in the World Cup final, sitting pretty, playing the winner of France versus Morocco, which is happening today. Personally, I think France is gonna win. I hope they win, so the World Cup final is actually entertaining. I know Morocco have a lot of fans supporting them right now. They're the underdog. They're playing for all of Africa. It's the first African team to make it to the World Cup semifinal, which is kind of sick. They're also getting a lot of love from the Arab nations in Qatar and that area of the world. I hope it's a good game to France versus Morocco, but I hope France wins. We got an Mbappe versus Messi final on Sunday morning before football, before fantasy playoffs start for a lot of people. So that's going to be an epic day of sports either way. And yeah, I'm really rooting for Messi. I kind of just want to see him win the World Cup, solidify his stance as the GOAT of soccer. So
Yeah, I mean, if Messi wins the World Cup, he's got to be the
there's
best
no
footballer
debate.
ever. There's no debate, right? He's done it
That's
all.
that's
All the
basically
Ballon d'Ors, all the club records. Now he's won a World Cup.
Yeah, I mean, the debate between Messi and Ronaldo is it's so close. It's so even. It's like Ronaldo has more this, but Messi has more this. It's kind of like the LeBron versus Jordan debate, only if they had the same amount of championship, like UEFA champions rings. Like Messi and Ronaldo both have the same amount. But the thing that separates them is going to be the World Cup. Neither of them have made the World Cup final or won the World Cup. Messi's made the World Cup final before, but failed in 2014 when they lost to Germany. So if he wins this solidifies his stance as the GOAT. He's also 2 years younger than Ronaldo, who Ronaldo is basically worthless at this point. He's a piece of trash. So
Yeah, that's another thing that's interesting too, because it's just interesting to see all the football fans just like pretty much hating on Ronaldo. Like it's not like this guy's giving him greatness for 20 years or something or anything, right? Like,
yeah,
I mean, he's 37 years old. I mean, you can't really expect him to be the same player that he was, even though
I
Messi
mean
is what
that's
35 and he's still putting up the same numbers, looking
that's
good.
the thing that's pissing everyone off is he's saying that he still can put up the numbers, and then he plays and he's not putting up the numbers, and that's why he's getting benched, and that's why he's doing these interviews with Piers Morgan wanting to leave Manchester United and slashing the whole club because he's not getting enough playing time. He's also becoming cocky in his career, where to the point of, I have so much more money than you and I still want more money, and I'm going to go wherever it gives me more money, so I'm set for the rest of my life, even though he is basically almost worth $1 billion at this point in his life, which is kind of nuts. Whereas Messi is just more of I'm gonna keep my talking to on the field, and he still can show that he's got it, even though he's 35 and has 5 goals and 3 assists in this World
Yeah,
Cup.
I mean, Messi is special. Like, I mean, obviously scored a penalty, what he does, but the assist that he had, I mean, that was pretty much his goal.
Yeah, I mean,
For him
it's
taking
just
the
like,
ball in the net.
yeah, I mean, my dad was watching the game downstairs. I was watching it in my room while I was working. I had the game on and would look over at, like, if I saw like a shot or there was a goal, I'd watch the replay and stuff. But like my dad, who's pretty much basically a soccer casual, he probably knows about a decent amount of stuff just through what I've told him. But he just was watching the game and then he's just like, God, Messi is like, it's so hard to tackle him, but it looks so easy to tackle him. Like there'll be like 5 people around him and he'll just like squeeble out of it and pass the ball, like make a ridiculous pass, and then 2 seconds later you blink your eye and he's through on goal.
Yeah, I mean, it is crazy, and like a final with him versus Mbappe would just be special because Mbappe
Yeah,
is
that'd
like
be epic.
another player like that who, like, admittedly, I haven't really seen much of Mbappe play. I just know he's probably the best player in the world right now. But just watching him play the last few games, I mean, he's special. He's faster than everyone else, more skilled than everyone else. Puts the ball on.
Yeah, I mean, it's the 2 best players in the world right now playing each other in the World Cup final, hopefully. So
yeah. I mean, this World Cup's got turned me into a soccer fan, so I'm excited. I got to get a club to follow now. I think I'm gonna go with maybe Real Madrid, but I feel like that's too bandwagon.
No, that's not that much of a bandwagon.
Yeah,
If you-
stay tuned for Beeves and I's, journey into soccer, what teams we're gonna pick.
I've been playing some FIFA
Stay up
too.
to date. Stay up to date. Keep
Nice.
watching us. You'll see some interesting shit. All right. So yeah, World Cup's been fucking insane to watch. Another thing has definitely been insane. MLB free agency. I'll just go through this real quick, you guys, so that we can hop into the draft, end it early. But basically, here's how it's been going down. Mitch Haniger to the Giants, 3-year, $43.5 million. That's who they took over Judge. Fucking idiots. Taijuan Walker went to the Phillies, 4-year, $72 million. Jameson Taillon, former Yankee pitcher, goes to the Cubs, 4-year, $68 million. Judge, that dude, the homie, stays with the Yankees, 9-year, $360 million. Never had a doubt. Jose Quintana to the Mets, 2-year, $26 million. Mets
Deal.
get their perfect piece to replace that dude, Jacob deGrom. But wait, there's more. There's more. Kenley Jansen to the Red Sox, 2-year, $32 million. Red Sox, who gave away every single piece of talent that they have on their roster, except for Devers, now get their superstar closer that's going to close out every loss they have. Next, we got Wilson. What?
We still
We'll get there.
Bogarts?
There's still more. There's still more. I'm doing
no,
this.
we don't. I remember now. Yeah.
Wilson Contreras to the St. Louis Cardinals. This absolute fucking traitor from the Cubs goes to the Cardinals, 5-year, $87.5 million contract. Fuck him. We're big Andrew Kinsler fans on this podcast. That's for damn sure. Next, Red Sox sign Masataka Yoshida. He comes there, 29-year-old out of Japan, 5-year, $90 million deal. Absolute baller.
I'm buying a jersey.
They lose Xander Bogaerts to the Padres, 11-year, $280 million. Padres look absolutely unreal. But wait, the Mets then got Brandon Nimmo to re-sign, 8-year, $162 million deal. And that was not it out of the Mets. They make another splash. They get a guy from Japan, Kodai Senga, 5 years, $75 million deal. But wait, there's even more shit going on. Let me get there. We have a 3-way deal. Sean Murphy goes to the Braves. The Braves send catcher Manny Pena, William Contreras to the Brewers. And basically, the A's just got a bunch of shitty people. It is what it is. Chris Bassett to the Toronto Blue Jays. 3 years, $663 million. I'm going to pass out. Mike Zunino to the Guardians. 1 year, $6 million. Ross Stripling to the Giants. 2 year, $25 million. And wait, the final move. Justin Verlander to the fucking Mets. They replaced DeGrom with him. I was busting your balls earlier. Justin Verlander and Max Scherzer, the 1-2 duo from the 2012 Tigers, reunited this year for the Mets. It's been a crazy fucking offseason. That's it. That's MLB.
Yeah.
How did I do?
Around in baseball.
That was solid.
You guys like that?
I liked it. Yeah.
I'm exhausted.
Unfortunately, you can probably only do it once a year because you pretty much ran through everything that happened in the past few weeks.
I know. Oh shit! I got
I mean, there's no money like baseball money.
Damn right.
The NBA and the NFL, you're starting to get some more big spenders, but the deals you see in the MLB are just ridiculous, especially for a sport that many people think is dying. There's still money there, and my Mets in particular. I mean, I think our payroll is almost $400 million right now, largest in history. So,
yeah, wow. No, as simple as I can say, it's been an absolutely wild offseason. It's just the teams are going to look so different next year. I'm really excited to see. There's probably 6 powerhouse teams to look out for. So it's going to be an absolute battle for the World Series next year. It's not going to be as clean cut as it was this year.
It's going to be interesting. It's just, such a long season.
Oh, insane.
It's a long season.
All right. I got my breath back. So now let me transition us. We are going into the snake draft now. It is the greatest TV. I guess I have our favorite TV show characters of all time. However you want to phrase it, Hod, you can.
Yeah.
Like I said before, just want to re-clarify this for everyone. We are not doing cartoon characters, as that will be a different draft in the future. That way, we keep getting more and more ideas to keep these drafts up every episode. So if you're expecting, like Eric Cartman, Homer, Peter Griffin, that's going to be on a later episode. But
Homer.
here's how we do it. I won last draft. I'm going to pick the order. I'm going to give Beeve number 1, Hod number 2. I'm going to go 3 to round it out. So with that, Hod, are you ready to take your notes?
Yep, I'm good.
All
Start
right, Beeve, let's see it.
All right. Well, I should preface this by saying this is a lot of pressure. The first overall pick in the TV show character draft, considering that I probably watched the least amount of TV of the 3 here. But I conjured up some good picks, and I think I have a good first pick. And that would be the main character, the boss uh, of a show called The Office, Michael Scott. It's going to be my 1A.
Just a good pick.
Great
Yeah.
comedy.
An extremely well-written character. It really
Yeah.
is.
Solid pick. My first pick, I think 2 people are worthy of this pick. Funny enough, I think for me, they're from the same TV show. And I can go, it's like a 1A, 1B. Some episodes I prefer this guy, some I prefer that guy. I think I'm going to go spice it up a little bit. I'm going to give me Jesse Pinkman from Breaking Bad.
Yeah, those 2 were, really high up on my list, but that's a great pick.
Can't go wrong. I like the comedic relief of Jesse as
Yeah,
well.
I feel like he's just a lot more relatable for everyone, which is why you would pick him.
Yeah.
So it should come as no surprise, these next 2 picks. If you know me at all, you know what route I'm going. It doesn't matter where you put it. These 2 are my number 1 on this list. So I guess we'll just go like this. Give me Tony Soprano, my favorite show of all time, the most well-written character of all time. Just every little thing about him in that show. It's just that he's the character. Like, there's no doubt about it. So give me him at 1, or I guess at pick 3. And then spin that around. The man I met today, Jeremy Piven's character, Ari Gold. He has to come to me. It makes the most sense. He almost made me into an agent by the age of 15. Like, I was obsessed with Ari Gold's character. He was absolutely hilarious. He obviously could not get away with this today, but it's my favorite character to just watch
Ari
over and
Gold
over again.
a
I
flawless
just
character.
love it.
Yeah.
Beeve, you live with me.
Oh yeah,
And
I
Hod,
love.
too.
Yeah.
Love me some Entourage.
Yeah. So yeah, those are my first 2 picks. Hod, will send it back to you.
Yeah. My next pick, I'm gonna go for one of my favorite characters of all time. I think this is quite arguably one of the funniest characters of all time, not only just in his show, but just generational character and generational talent from a generational actor. Give me Frank Reynolds.
Yes, that's a
Always
great
Sunny
pick.
in Philadelphia.
That's a great pick.
Danny DeVito did not miss with this character.
That is true. So yeah, my next pick, I am gonna swing it back to Entourage just because there's plenty of great characters, but there's a few that stand out more than the others. And my pick in particular is Johnny Drama.
Beeve loves him some Johnny Drama. That's for damn
He's
sure.
just so funny. Like every situation he gets himself in, he always fucks himself over, or like the surroundings just fuck him over. And he's big bro, but he's always just
He's just a
guy
shit
that gets
show.
done. Yeah, he's a shit show. It's so funny.
It is
So yeah, Johnny
incredible.
Drama. And then my next pick, I'm gonna go with Jim Leahy from Trailer Park Boys.
Good pick.
Yo, that's a good one.
I mean, he's a great drunk. I mean, just like I wonder if he's definitely not hammered when he's hammered acting, but he does a damn good job playing it.
Yeah, no, for sure.
And R.I.P. by the way, because he's no longer with us.
Yeah. All right.
It's true.
My next pick is a throwback pick for me. I used to watch this show, I think 7th, 8th grade, freshman year of high school is when I first started watching it, and I just got hooked straight away. This show was hilarious. It involved sports, comedy, you name it, it had it. One of the funniest characters from this show. I'm going Sammy Cacciatore from Blue Mountain State.
That's a good one. I love that.
Wait, refresh me on which one he was from Blue Mountain State.
Here's the mascot.
He's the
Oh,
mascot.
yeah. That's a good one. That's a
Yeah.
good one.
So I'm gonna go ahead and take the guy who was kind of my 1C. That was Walter White. I mean, he had to come off the board at some point.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna throw it over to another show that I love. I don't know if you guys have watched it, but if you've watched Eastbound and Down, by far one of the funniest shows I've ever watched. The main character, Mr. Kenny Powers, dude, is just the funniest motherfucker alive. If you have not seen the show, you need to watch it. This thing could cure depression. It is so fucking funny. So those are my next two picks.
Solid pick. My next pick, I'm gonna go for arguably my favorite TV show series ever, and my favorite character, and that is Michael Scofield from Prison Break.
That's a good character.
That show is my favorite show ever. Incredible to watch, so entertaining. I mean, the guy has a back tattoo of an entire prison on himself. Like, that's just sick.
Yeah. All right. My next pick, I'm gonna go to a classic sitcom from the '90s called Seinfeld, and the character that I'm picking is Kramer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another funny character, kind of Johnny Drama-esque. Uh, but yeah, and then I get another pick.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. See, this is where it starts to get dicey because I don't really watch that much TV. So I'm just gonna have fun with this next pick, and I'm gonna go with Gibby from iCarly.
Nice pick. That's solid. I'm also gonna have fun with my next pick.
Oh, beef. I
Um,
love you.
I think this guy makes the series. One of the series that I've started watching with my family when I was 6th grade. And I've seen basically every episode of every season. Give me Phil Dunphy from Modern Family.
Yep, it's a good one.
Yeah, Han, one of your picks got me thinking, which is kind of nice because I didn't really have that much time to prep beforehand. But let's take it back over to Blue Mountain State and let's visit the greatest linebacker in the nation, Mr. Thad Castle. Again, one of the funniest characters in any TV show ever. That man was just, he was just different. Like, there's nothing else to say. He was
That
just too
Castle,
funny.
like Sammy was the more like Sammy Cacciatore in that show was just flat out stupid. Like he was just so dumb. And then there was Thad Castle, who just didn't make any sense half the time. Like that show is so iconic. It's so
Oh,
fun.
it's so good. It's
Uh,
so good. Yeah.
But all right, yeah. So I guess that's the end of the draft. Run through each team. So Beeve has Michael Scott, Johnny Drama, Jim Leahy, Kramer, and Gibby. I have Jesse Pinkman, Frank Reynolds, Sammy Cacciatore, Michael Schofield, and Phil Dunphy. And Mondo has Tony Soprano, Ari Gold, Walter White, Kenny Powers, and Thad Castle. All right, on the honorable mentions.
Yeah, so one honorable mention I have is 11 from Stranger Things. I've only seen like the first season of Stranger Things, but she stood out. And then I have Jimmy Brooks, who was Drake's character in Degrassi.
Yep.
He was in a wheelchair and he was shot in the leg. And so he really played his role perfectly.
Nice.
And yeah, I mean that's all I have. Martin Sheen in The West Wing. He was the
Alright.
president.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. My honorable mentions, another just throwback classic show, Carlton Banks from The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Yeah.
He's a classic
I was
character,
thinking of that.
classic Carlton. And then also another one from me. Give me Ruth from Ozark. She's a psycho bitch. She's entertaining.
Yeah, those are some good honorable mentions, boys. I don't have too many to add. Um, I'm gonna go Ricky from Trailer Park Boys.
Oh,
Larry David's character, but you kind of get Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Yeah.
Um, and then Silvio Dante from The Sopranos. I'd say
gotcha.
those are the ones.
Yeah. It's crazy how Gibby weaseled himself into the greatest TV show character conversation, but
Yeah.
that's my doing, so I apologize for that.
Yeah.
It's okay, beef. Don't worry. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to do it for this episode. If you did enjoy, please like, subscribe, share it with everyone. We would really appreciate it. Especially holidays coming around, a good gift from us to you was this podcast. From you to us would be just to share it. That's all we ask. But yeah, that's going to do it. Hope you guys enjoyed, and we will see you on the next episode.
Peace.
See ya.